Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In my over 2 decades experiences and tour of duties as an investment banking executive, a financial engineer, oil trader, and agripreneur, one of the things I've learned is that anything that is not measurable is not worth doing. Anything that is not measurable is not a goal. All my life, I've learned that one of the ways stakeholders in any organization, be it public or private, maintains organizational goals and vision is to keep every stakeholders in check to ensure that each and every team member performs his or her agreed role or assignment optimally. 90% of Nigeria foreign exchange earning is the crude oil. At a time it was doing 95%. The crude oil exploration, production and sales has actually been at the bedrock of Nigeria forex stability. At a time in 2010, 2011, 2012, Nigeria was producing average of 2.5 million barrels, 2.6 million barrels, 2.4 million barrels of crude oil and condensate, and which we exported. The governments of the day, as at that time, of course, there was corruption. Corruption has always been part of the DNA of the political elites in Nigeria, but the corruption wasn't as virulent as it were between 2015 and 2023. Let me not digress. We were able to maintain some level of forex stability. In fact, under the Obasanjo government, between 1999 to 2007, we had relative stability in the foreign exchange market, in the price of goods and services. Of course, inflation was single digit, and we owed it much to the fact that output was sustained at an average that was enable us to cushion and defend the naira when it is needed, and take care of our imports. But over the last 8 years, it has been a different ballgame. In oil production, we have control, but in the movement of the global prices, of the global market price of crude oil, we do not have control. The only aspect we have control is production, and that is why every successive government have always maintained that rigor to ensure that we maintain production at least to a level that will ensure some level of stability. The 2024 budget was predicated on an output of 1.78 million barrels a day, at least to meet the OPEC quota. But so far, that target has not been met. As of January, we did about 1.6 million barrels, which of course OPEC disputed. February 2014, we did 1.5. Now we are down to 1.4 million barrels a day. One thing that still baffles me is why a country that was able to do 2.4 million barrels, 2.5 million barrels 15 years ago, 14 years ago, 13 years ago, is struggling to even meet an OPEC quota of 1.78 million barrels a day. You know, one of the things I've learned is stakeholders or shareholders in any organization will always elect or appoint board and management. Board and management will now go and recruit all manner of food soldiers, departmental heads, regional heads, directors, directorates to help them achieve the set objective of the organization. A budget was prepared. That budget was supposed to be a working document. And 3 months down, 4 months into that budget, we have not yet achieved key performance goals. And the questions are not being asked. It's a very simple thing. In the bank, if a particular division or a particular region or a particular group is not working well, what the board and management will do is to simply look outside, look at other competition, look at other banks, and look at those who are doing well. And then they'll go there and poach and take in personnel from those places to come and help shore up their team. Of course, they will give them incentives. I have never seen anywhere in any organization where people are not meeting their targets, where people and they rational. Let me tell you, there are 1,000,001 reasons why people should stay lazy. There are 1,000,000 excuses can be manufactured. There is no living being with his mouth open that cannot provide 1,000,000. You see, even the man who was bedridden at the pool of Bethesda, Jesus Christ was there to help him. And rather than even as he was busy ranting and giving excuses why he could not be thrown into the water, until Jesus has so much mess on him and say, pack your things and go. I am tired of all your explanations. Nigeria is a place where people give 1,000,001 reason. Heads of ministries, departments, and agencies. And in the most worst thing is that we allow people who are not measuring up to still remain there. I keep on asking this question. The first time in the history of Nigeria, our crude oil was being stolen like sweets. For the first time, go and check. Between 2010 to 2009, our daily PMS consumption never passed 28 million liters a day. And that was a time Nigeria had a thriving middle class of about 4 million. That was the time the average middle class Nigerian could even buy a brand new car. All of a sudden, in 2015, the magic started happening. We started seeing 60 million liters a day, 66 million liters a day, 68, 72, 93, even at a very atrocious level of 102 million liters a day. Auditor General of the Federation gave a record that 107 million barrels of crude sold in 2019 could not be accounted for. What about $10 billion? We have sustained this inefficiency even till now. One will have expected a government of renewed hope when you come into a team that have practically taken Nigeria to oil and gas relegation. What do? You clear the stable and bring in fresh hands. If possible, you go back 2010, go back 2011. Who were the key operators in that era that enabled us to do 220, 2.5, 2.6? Even if it means fishing them out of retirement, you bring them out. I've never seen this kind of thing. We have a target. We are lucky that crude oil prices have gone up to about $89 per barrel, above our benchmark of 77. But assuming that it had gone down south, what would have been the lot of Nigeria? Yemi Cardoso is struggling, doing everything humanly possible to see if he can sustain some level, give Nigeria a level of breather. But let me tell you, everything Yemi Cardoso is doing now is to buy us time. Whatever he's doing is not sustainable. And he himself knows it. Every honest investor knows it. But what the man is doing, earnestly and sincerely, is to see how he can buy us time to enable the physical managers to fix the rots, to fix the insecurity, to fix the output problems. That is what Yemi is doing. Yemi is buying us time. The bomb is ticking. Yemi is doing his best. Yemi Cardoso is doing his best to buy us time. We cannot sustain this. Of course, we know that all the treasury bills and the bills he has been selling to attract dollars from the KPIS very soon will be due for payment next year. The first quarter of 2024, we've taken almost about $5.6 trillion naira worth of instruments. We've sold instruments. We've taken almost about $4 billion, and $3 billion are from KPIS at a very high rate of 21% yield. By January, February, March next year, these guys will be knocking on our door for Yemi to pay back that money. Yet, those on the physical side, those who are managing our oil and gas resources, are busy fiddling. I just don't understand what is happening. You inherited a team that squandered 16 trillion naira, $34 billion, and they could not fix the refineries. They could not solve the problems. They could not. You hated a team that saw the depletion of our oil production from 2.4 million barrels a day in 2015 to the current deplorable level. Common sense did not tell us that the best thing to do is to do massive clearance. 80 team that is fumbling will always continue to fumble. There is no gainsaying it. For whatever may be the reason, sentimental and emotional, any man or a woman that has an assignment to deliver as the head of an organization owe it as a duty to take some hardball decisions. And those hardball decisions means stepping even on toes that are untouchable, just to save the nation and save your image and save your reputations. How are we talking about 1.4 million barrels of crude a day in March, when we have a target of 1.78, when ideally we should be talking about 3 million barrels a day? So what happened? What were we doing in 2010, 2011, when we are doing 2.5 million barrels a day that we are not doing now? It's a question we should ask ourselves. If you had a team that was winning Champions League in 2010, and you had a team now that is even trying to take us to relegation, economic relegation, what do? You clear out this table. God have mercy on us in this country. I am pained. I'm pained. Let's do the right thing. No sentiments, no emotions. Nigeria can produce 2.5 million barrels to 3 million barrels of crude oil every day. Nigeria can fix our refineries. It does not take skyrocket to fix refineries. Those 3 refineries were built in 30 years under the military regime of Gowon and Obasanjo and Babangida. Why is it so difficult for us to fix? Since it has been difficult, privatize the damn thing. Privatize it. Get private investors. Look at Petrobras, what they are doing. What is so difficult in doing this? Kai!